Hello, this is my first Twitter for my Patreon developing Urban Fantasy University. I'm wearing my classically trained t-shirt, and I have my poster about how fascists are bad, and I just wanted to get out and say some things. UFU at its core is going to be an RPG system and setting with the ability to genericize the setting to multiple things, such as, say, the Fate system or D&D 6e. I say 6e because, let's be fair, 6e is going to have come out by the time I make this. Now, the core idea is making it yet another LGBTQ-friendly RPG, with the twist that this is more science fantasy. It will have two settings, Urban Fantasy University and Urban Fantasy Universe, despite the fact that it's science fantasy, by which I mean laser guns and spaceships, not, creeping around Chicago with a hockey stick in hand and no pointy hat. Now, the core idea will be the university, with the universe used as an expansion and to provide better playability. The university is simply a place to train heroes in a safe environment that kind of plucks people out from their moment of death and other such things. It has two types of students. It has heroic potential students, who are picked because they're heroes and are clearly labeled as such, and it also has what's known as charity students. They're more picked because, well, they were in such a cruddy situation they really deserved it. This provides a bit of a way to play two different types of characters, avoids having to give every person a heroic death, and adds a bit of randomness to it. Now, needless to say, there you are, my mouse. Couldn't find this. Now, there's going to be a lot of different NPCs. There'll be 5 different classes that the characters can take, pretty much like your normal high school, though this is, of course, college. So there's also going to be electives, and generally each class will have an NPC. I'm not going to do a crazy thing where you have a whole new set of NPCs every grade, because that would get wearisome and problematic. Instead, higher grades just have more electives. As I said, this is a university, not a high school. Each of the classes are going to be useful, but they're not going to be attached to a player class, by which I mean an archetype or other such things. While you will have optional archetypes inspired by the Soulbound system, thank you guys, Cubicle 7, you're awesome. I'm not working with you yet, but I'd love to. This will let the people have a quick, ready-made character they can make in minutes, or they can make their own if they're more familiar with the system. There'll be a hefty focus on talents and abilities as opposed to skills, improving the characters. Furthermore, this can be expanded in the Urban Fantasy universe, where you'll have a diverse idea of factions. Generally, you'll have the killer robots, essentially what would happen if the Borg sued for peace. You'll have the United States in space, which is designed to produce the best of the United States, which in 2020 seems really freaking unlikely. So this is more like 1990s New Knots kind of stuff. So, democracy, that stuff, but ultimately inefficient, and it's kind of a melting pot. Then you have the demons, you have the angels, who are 2 big factions, and I'm also adding the fairy courts as a faction, who are sort of outside the conflicts but contribute at times. Now, this gives a relatively low amount of factions. I mean, there's really only 4 with 3 major ones. And I'm not counting the observers who look behind everything and have a mysterious plot devoted to them. They're like the Vorlons from Babylon 5. Though there isn't any sign of shadows for now. Now, how to handle more diversity is each faction will have a series of sub-factions. So, like, if you're from the United States, in space, then you could be... Oh my god, I could just name it the United Space Alliance. That'd actually be kind of hilarious. I think I could do that now. Yeah, it's going to be the United Space Alliance. Oh, God, that's stupid, but I'm doing it. Okay, so you'll have sub-factions, like you could be one of the more refugees who are kind of discriminated against. You could be from the main areas. You could be part of the planet of Nagas, that kind of stuff. Because people can shift dimensions in this world easily, though they can't go to parallel one-off stuff. So, no, you cannot access a dimension where you just turn left instead of right at a certain thing. These are more just really weird extra worlds. In fact, one of the major laws is the dimension drives, or whatever I'm going to call them finally, can only shift people a certain distance away, and there are some areas that are forbidden. This is enforced by the observers, who are in fact the ones who help establish the dimension drives. Now, like, one court that I'm really fond of is that the fairy courts also have the Leprechaun Kingdom, which is ruled by the Leprechaun King, known for his green hair and orange skin. There's definitely going to be some political jokes. Oh, definitely. And the other major thing is everyone has a reason for what they do, and no one does things for the sake of evil. There is no such thing as a cultist of evil who's devoted to evil as a moral imperative. And that's missing in quite a few games, so I want to give that in. And I hope everyone enjoys it and finds it interesting. I'm working hard on it while I'm working at school, and it's going to be good. I'm working on getting a timeline and a list of some of the races together, and you guys are going to like it. See you soon.